When you're with someone like that for 3 years, do you just build a trust that you know that some things happen under stress?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was obviously a tough loss, and we're all upset and disappointed about what happened and how the game turned out. And I mean, he's a passionate kid. You know, he plays this game, plays hard, and he's given a lot to this program. And you know, it's just, I think some things are said out of frustration, and some things he probably takes back. But you know, I think in the heat of the moment, that's a tough position to be put in as a kid or as a student athlete at 20 years old.
What was the mood like with the team yesterday? Urban said you guys had a team meeting. Obviously, you didn't have a victory meal. I mean, what kind of is the vibe around the team right now?
You know, yesterday coming in the building, you know, everyone seemed a little bit disappointed, but you know, just getting around each other and getting back in the building and seeing all your teammates again, I think really picked everybody up. And you know, we had an encouraging team meeting. You know, we talked about what we still have to play for this year, and obviously big week this week. And I mean, I think just getting in the building yesterday and everyone being around each other again after a tough day Saturday really helped us all.
What are you playing for the rest of the year?
I mean, we're taking it 1 week at a time, just like we have every week. And I mean, this week, obviously, being Team Up North week, it's rivalry week and week we definitely don't take lightly. And everything's extra this week. You know, extra time out of practice, extra film, after extra lifting. It's just one of those weeks. And like I said, we're just taking it 1 week at a time and have to handle this week.
What was it like not having that team dinner last night, that victory dinner that you're so used to?
It was the first time in a long time. And I mean, it kind of lets you sit back and think you got to appreciate all the times we have won over the past couple of years, and we haven't been in this position to not have our victory meal on a Sunday night too many times. You know, I've only had that about 4 times in my career now, and so it was different, but something we don't plan on getting used to around here.
Tommy, how do you think the defensive line played on Saturday?
I think we were okay. I think we were inconsistent. I think at times we played really well, and times we kind of stepped back and didn't play as well as we could. And so we just had to take a hard look at that film and make corrections and try to go out and get better this week.
Why, in a game where the wind was certainly a factor and affected the passing game, was Michigan State still able to run the ball so effectively?
I mean, you got to give credit to them. I mean, they're a great team and a great offensive line, some real experienced guys who have a lot of experience behind them. And I don't want to say we prepared differently just because we expected Connor Cook to play and he ended up not playing. So, I mean, it was some stuff we hadn't seen, which is not an excuse. We have to make adjustments and move forward in the game. But it was just a tough game. Give credit to them for having a great game plan and coming out and executing.
A couple years ago, you guys lost to Michigan State and then went to the bowl game and lost to Clemson. What type of lessons can you take from that moving forward, going into trying to bounce back from a loss here?
I would say just like you said, bouncing back, and we still have a lot to play for this year, and especially with this week, how big this game is, and it's not taking things lightly and not looking ahead. Really just staying in the moment and appreciating what we have, and taking this next week real seriously and coming out and playing a great game on Saturday.
Is it easy to bounce back knowing you have Michigan Saturday?
I would say it's a little bit easier than it would be if it was a different game, just because it's not like we need any extra motivation for this game. We know what's at stake. We know the rivalry and how important it is to everyone in Ohio and Buckeye Nation, and how important it is to them too. I mean, they're a great football team, well-coached football team, and looking for a good game on Saturday.
Would it surprise you at the beginning of the season to hear how strong the season Michigan ended up having after the last few years they've had?
No. I thought they would come out and have a great year, like just how they are. And obviously they hired a great coach there, and he's done a great job of turning that program around after the past couple seasons. And they're a completely different team than they have been the past couple of years. They're just the way they play, their style of play, they're physical, and I think they're a fun team to watch and should make for a great game Saturday.
What you've seen on film, is that the difference between Michigan this year and the last couple of years, just an attitude, more physicality?
I would say it's definitely something that shows up on tape is how they play, especially their offensive line play. Those are big dudes who play physical, and it's going to be another challenging week for us, and we just got to come on Tuesday, have a good week of practice, and try to get better and prepare for this game just like any other.
What are the challenges that Michigan their offense presents to you?
I think it's a pretty balanced attack again this week. I mean, quarterback can stand back there and only deliver the ball to some good receivers, big offensive line is physical, and a good running attack. So I mean, it's nothing. We have to prepare for both the run game and the pass game, and be able to play both those things consistently.
With the class of 2012 and just kind of the situation y'all came into, do you ever look back and think about how far y'all come, and y'all are Meyer's first full class through here?
Yeah, absolutely, and that was something that was brought up in our team meeting yesterday. Is just as terrible as it is to go out on senior day like that. Look at what we have accomplished in our career here, and it's really unbelievable some of the things we've accomplished, the winning streaks, and then just Big Ten championship, national championship, and so kind of trying to look at it that way and just being grateful and appreciative of what we have done and like the memories we've made and friendships we've built, and look at it that way as opposed to on the other side.
Every week you guys have to drown out the noise from outside the Woody, just social media and everything. It seems that the noise is that much louder this week. I mean, is it more of a challenge to be able to drown all that out? I mean, walk into class, people come up talking to you, everything else.
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher. I mean, it's just when you're great, they love you. When you struggle, they're the first ones to put you down, and that's a tough thing to deal with. And it's something that, as a team, we try to bond together and not give too much attention to, and back each other up and be supportive of one another.
What would a sweep for the Wolverines mean to you?
Oh, I mean, that's another unbelievable accomplishment that our senior class can, finish up this Saturday. I mean, something that not very many people who play at Ohio State say they can do, or say they did. And I mean, that would definitely be another thing that would make our careers even better here, is being able to have a sweep against them.
It's obviously on the forefront of your mind, obviously, Saturday, but doing you have the streak, is that something you think about, or is it really an afterthought just to something like
I mean, I think it's definitely something we think about, especially coming into this game being 3-0 against them, and our senior class being 3-0 against them. It definitely is something we've talked about and something we're going to pride ourselves on and use as motivation for this game this weekend.
How has your perception of this rivalry evolved over the years?
Well, when I first got here, I knew the rivalry, obviously, but not being an Ohio guy, I didn't really realize how big of a thing it was, and it really is. It means a lot to everyone in the state of Ohio, everyone in the state up north, and it's a big game, especially with how the season they're having, the season we're having, and I'm just excited to get out there and play again this weekend.
With all the teams, or a lot of teams in college football using spread offenses, you're now 2 weeks in a row going to play a team that likes to use the fullback, likes to use tight ends. Is that difficult now to play against what I think most people would consider a normal offense?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's more difficult, but it's different preparation. And like you said, we have played against a variety of different offenses this year, and it's not necessarily more difficult, but it's just different in the way you prepare for things. And it's going to be a physical week of practice, and you have to get ready for different types of things for the run and the pass, and be able to play both those things well. And so it's all about consistency with us, just being able to go out there every play and make something happen.
I know it's kind of an obvious question, but how much harder does it make your life on the defensive line when they are using fullbacks and tight ends and things like that to block you guys?
It makes it a little bit more difficult, but it also is something we pride ourselves on. Being a defensive lineman, especially an inside guy, you got to be those tough guys who can take on double teams and make a wall at the line of scrimmage, which is something we struggled with a little bit last week. That I know that we'll get corrected this week and be ready for Saturday.
Anything you can pinpoint? I mean, Coach Meyer ultimately said that the game once we came down the line of scrimmage and you guys got beat up there pretty good. Anything you can pinpoint specific? I mean, the conditions were awful. It was a weird game, but I'm just curious. The defensive line was obviously supposed to be one of the strengths of this team. Why did that happen?
I don't think you can pinpoint it on one thing necessarily. I mean, I just think we didn't execute like the way we can. I mean, we showed that we can stop the run several times this year and do a great job of that, holding teams to very minimal rushing yards. And I don't think it was anything to do with heart or us playing hard. I thought we played really very hard, and I thought we played very physical at times. It was just it wasn't a consistent day for the defensive line.
Joey just said that essentially the season would be a failure if you lost your last two games. He said you don't come to Ohio State to lose. But that mindset going in, everything's so fragile in college football. Here's your rival and kind of everything.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, I would agree with him. It would definitely be tough to go out losing the last two games at Ohio State. We come to Ohio State not to lose any games. Yeah. And losing this past Saturday was tough for us, and obviously very disappointing. And something we're not going to let happen this weekend.
Have you guys come close to playing to your potential as a team this year?
I think at times we have. I think we've showed flashes of what we really can be and what we are, but at times we haven't. And it's frustrating, especially for our defensive line too. Just our unit, we've been up and down a little bit, but we've shown great flashes and struggled at times. I mean, as a team, I think we haven't shown a lot of what we can do. We still have a couple games left to hopefully show that.
Why not?
I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, guys play hard. Guys love this team, love their teammates, and everyone's in it for the right reasons. And I think we need to just keep pounding, keep grinding, and keep working hard in practice, and things will fall into place.
A year ago, everything fell into place. It's 3 games. You were underdogs in all 3, and you dominated them. Is there anything? Do you find yourself thinking back to what clicked then that's not clicking now?
We try not to talk about too much, or talk about last season too much, but there's obviously those conversations about differences from last year to this year as far as moving in a positive direction. And we've had those conversations both in our position rooms and as a team, and just stuff that kind of stays in the locker room of what we need to do as a team to keep moving forward.
How frustrating is it to not being able to maximize the talent on this team? You guys, you said you've shown flashes of it, but it just hasn't all coalesced.
As a player, it's frustrating, and I'm sure as a coach, it has to be even more frustrating.
Sure.
We have an abundance of talent on this team, especially on the offensive side of the ball with all the playmakers we have and skilled players that can touch the ball and make anything happen. And I'm sure as a coach, it's got to be frustrating that you can't get all those guys as many touches as they'd like to, or things like that. But
a couple more questions over here.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter especially, they ran the ball with some effectiveness between the tackles. I'm talking about Michigan State. And Urban Meyer said he thought as much as they had the ball, they did wear you guys down a little bit. Did you feel like that coming out of that game? And you're going against a team that likes to line up at 2 tights a lot and come after you. What just sort of has to be the rallying cry, I guess, defensively this week?
I think just our overall physicality, and they were a physical group, and they did a great job. They had a great scheme, and they got off the ball, and they played hard. And I think this week that'll be our big thing, is really changing the line of scrimmage and being able to push that line of scrimmage backwards and let our linebackers run and make plays, and just kind of what we've shown the past couple weeks, other than against Michigan State. And I think we'll have a great week of practice this week. It'll be a physical week for sure, and we're looking forward to the game.
Tommy, what's the difference? A lot is made about the letter M around here this week, but when you hear the word Michigan, what comes to your mind?
Nothing good. It's a rivalry that I think is one of the best in sports, if not the best in sports, and we're all lucky to be a part of it. And it's definitely a week that we'll remember, and games that we'll remember. And I'm just looking forward to getting out there Saturday.
Tommy, what's the difference of getting?
If you haven't come close to reaching your ceiling yet, what makes you think that you guys can get there Saturday?
Well, first of all, our coaching staff. We have great coaches here, obviously, and they get us ready to play. And then just our players. I really think that this is one of the closest teams I've ever been around, and I think the way we bond together, and we'll really bounce back from this loss. And I know everyone's excited to get out there tomorrow for Tuesday practice, which isn't always the case. And guys are looking forward to getting to work and getting out there Saturday.
All right, Tommy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tommy.